Hey, everybody. So we're here for our second expert webinar of the day. This is part of our, of course, Potpourri expert webinar series where brilliant experts from the private front row VIP community have been invited to present in their area of expertise to you for free. And so I'm so excited. And the reason they were invited is because these are all the winners from Team Go For It who won the accountability challenge that we host every spring and every fall. And so what we've asked them to do is come and present on a topic of their choice that would be of interest to you. And then we're also asking them to present a juicy offer at the end. So make sure you stick around to the end for our next presenter's juicy offer. And let me introduce to you our next presenter. This is Christina Mosteller. And Christina is going to be teaching, sharing with us teacher tools entrepreneurs didn't know they could use. So I'm so excited about this because, you know, in the front row, we love talking about like tools and hacks and all that kind of stuff. So I can't wait to see what Christina is going to share with us. She finished her 12th year teaching at teaching health and PE to middle school students in Ewing, New Jersey. Did you this just happen? This last year was your 12th year, Christina?
Yes. Lucky number 13 is coming up.
You must have started teaching when you were like, I mean, how is that possible? You don't look like you could have been teaching for 12 years. Okay. She's always prided herself on being the savvy tech go-to in her department and helped her team get through quarantine with very few hiccups. During quarantine, she created and opened her first course and is working on another. So very impressive indeed. And I have had the privilege of being able to watch Christina build this through COVID in our accelerator program. So it's been really quite something. So I'm going to stop gabbing and I'm going to jump off the screen. I'm going to add your slide deck there. And then are you, if anybody has questions, do you want us to interrupt you or do you want me to save them until the end?
Until the end or in the middle, it doesn't matter to me. Just
okay.
Feel free.
All right. Got it. All right. You're on, my dear.
Hey, everyone, and thank you so much for that introduction. I started working with Jen in January, and when I was learning from Jen from the very beginning, I started thinking there's so many tools that entrepreneurs use that teachers could use, and it was so interesting that when COVID hit, I actually brought some of those tools to my teachers, to my department, for us to use, and real quickly, such as Loom. I had no idea that existed. New Screencastify and that, but there's still so many tools that I had no idea existed. So now it's the opposite, to where there are tools that entrepreneurs may have heard of but may not be very familiar with that they too can use. So that's what I wanted to give back and say this is available to you as well. So 13 years in, as Jen did already discuss, how the PE teacher for the 13 years, middle schoolers, so lucky 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Fun grade level to teach. And when COVID hit, I decided I wanted to get myself certified in the flipped classroom because I wanted to have an answer for being able to go back in a blended style, and that's the course. I'll talk about that later. But then I also, what Jen did mention was that I did create a course, and in the beginning, in January, I created for teachers that are not as tech savvy, that aren't as apt to look up YouTube videos. I created a little course that was just free and had a bunch of videos put together in one location so that if they needed help with Google or Google Classroom, it was just in one area for them instead of having to search all over. So what we're going to go over today, the fun, is we're going to be going over Kahoot, Google Meet, Classroomscreen, and Flippity. And all of this, they existed prior to COVID, but all of a sudden there was this big boom of you could use Kahoot and Google Meet and a whole bunch of other tools. So first tool we're going to talk about is Kahoot. And this one's probably, aside from Google Meet, is probably the most well-known tool that is available for teachers. But also there's a business profile that you can use. There's a business option that you can use. And they have a lot more options available to business owners that teachers don't necessarily get. But it is a pretty nifty tool. For here, if you can see that there are integrations like Slack, you can integrate it with Zoom and Google Meet. And the neat thing is, I don't think teachers do this either, maybe a select few, but you can actually take Google Sheets and Google Forms. You can create the questions prior, and then you can upload it directly into Kahoot without having to actually go into Kahoot, which I'll show you in a second, but you can actually upload them real quickly into Kahoot and have them ready to go. So to start, we're going to play Kahoot. And if you want to join, you would go to kahoot.it, or you would download the app and you would enter the PIN. The PIN is 748841. And you'll see the PIN again. I'm just going to switch my screen up. So while we're waiting for people to join, this is the back end of Kahoot. And right here, you can see this is the potpourri that I created, a couple questions. And just to show you how it works, you can create a Kahoot starting out. And I want to create a new one, and real easy, add a question. You can make a quiz, true or false, open-ended, a puzzle, a poll, and a slide. And a couple other options that business owners, if you choose the business option, there's a couple more options here that are available to you and not to teachers.
Okay. So you guys download the Kahoot app. Okay. And like I am all signed up. I hit my, entered the PIN, and I am registered for this game, and that's me up on the screen, I think. But here's the thing. So you may have said this. I just want to go back, Christina, because you're like me, and you get excited, and you're just like, you're out of the gate, and that is awesome. But just to back up, this is a tool that your kids have probably used in school. You may not have used, but it's really an unusual, fun way to engage your audience during a Zoom call or a webinar. It's an interactive way for you to interact with, to engage with them that most people wouldn't think about. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Christina.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I completely forgot to mention that this is a way for when you're hosting your webinar. Sorry, it did have this keyed up and then I lost it. Was businesses were using this to train their employees. So if they had any kind of training they had to do, these are quick quiz that the employees could go through to make double check to make sure that they are staying on point with whatever they need, the skills that they need to know. And the other part of it is that you can use this for your live webinars, and you can use this as a way to warm up your audience and to get to know your audience and ask a couple of questions here and there. And it's a real awesome, pretty fun, real quick, anybody can do it. It's free kind of tool that anybody can use. So apparently I am Wonder Badger. That's me right there. So if anyone else joins, we're going to start. So just so we can see how it works. So if I push start, the question is going to show up on our cell phones or on our phones, whatever device you're using. Could also be on a computer or a tablet. And the first question I made was a poll. And the question, if any tool, which tool have you used before? And if there's any of them that you have used before.
Wait a minute. We got to take this banner down because we can't see. Okay.
So there's 10 seconds for this question. I didn't make it very long, but if there's one that you have used before, so we'll say Kahoot or Flip, you can select a couple and hit submit. And we didn't hit submit quick enough. So there's no winners for this question. So you can make the questions a point value. So then you would see if one of us submit the question sooner, quick enough, so maybe 10 seconds was too fast.
Can we do it again?
Let's see. We'll have to go back.
Let's do it again.
See if we can. I'm not
and
sure.
Maybe that'll give people a chance to join us too that didn't join yet.
Oh, we're gonna have to enter a new PIN. So let's go in.
That's all right. That's all right. Let's do it.
Oh, is this? Hold on.
That's it.
I didn't know if that was my game. Oh yeah, that's my game. All right, so there we go.
All right. Nika, can you put that up on the screen? 422, the link that you had before. 8422865. Okay.
Oh, I totally put in the wrong number.
I'm Kind Boa.
And
No, the link, Nika, the one you had before. Are you Mighty Raven?
I am Mighty Raven.
All right, let's see. Let's give it a couple seconds and see if anybody else can join. Nika, are you on it? Are you on Kahoot?
Jolly Panther. Thanks for joining, Jolly Panther. Real Lion.
Oh, we got Jolly Panther. All right. All right. All right. Okay, you can go ahead if you want.
All right, so ready to begin? Let's start. So this is called Potpourri, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, and the question is going to show up. And the first one again is a poll.
Nika, will you take it off the banner off?
If any of which of the tools have you used before? Oh, so I had to make this 20 seconds. So you would select which shape corresponds with which answer that you have used prior to this discussion here. And you would hit submit. So we can see that we have 2 people have answered. 2, 1, and time is up. So this is actually pretty fun because you could make this a quiz game, a trivia game, and you can set a timer. And so a couple people have used Kahoot before. Flippity, one person used before. Classroomscreen, one person used before, and then someone hit none. So these are tools that people are familiar with, but may not necessarily have used. So we're going to go next. And where's everyone joining from? So right here for question 2, you can type in your own answer. So if you're joining from Front Row VIP, or if you're joining in from Mosteller Teachers, or maybe from the front row. So I'll just put, so we have 3 answers. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. So now we have showing up that we have a couple people from MST, and then if anyone put in the front row. So this one I wanted to show this one because if you have incorrect, these are all correct answers, but if someone put a different answer, then it wouldn't show up. So what I wanted to show you was going back this is called a word wall. And if you're in the business platform, you have access to the word wall. So you can see here, there's a different way of putting USA, and there's a different for States and US. So this is from a webinar that I joined for Kahoot so that I can learn a little bit more of the ins and outs for teaching, but it actually turned out that's where I was like, oh, it's for business too. But you can see Ireland, Indonesia, Romania. So this is all over the world that you could join in from at one time. So international business, perfect. And going back, so we have whoever won, Mighty Raven. That would be me. I guess cheating because I knew the answers.
Oh, it's rigged.
But here you can see who has done well and where they are. It's falling if you are doing like a real trivia game or anything like that. And then third question, true or false, Kahoot is only for teachers. So what we just saw was like standings. So if I had many more questions, you would be able to see how everyone is doing. So all 3 said false, 2 said true. So the podium, rigged, sorry. Third place, Kind Boa. Second place, Funny Macaw. And then the secret, Mighty Raven. But so Funny Macaw would technically take first place if I wasn't playing. But it is a way to see, just to add a little warmth and add a little fun to your webinar, just to get everybody loosened up.
And also like just a great survey tool as well. You know, I mean, engagement plus it's going to, I don't know, you could get a lot of information from your audience.
Yes, and they have ways that you can add slides in so that you can, if you created a slide prior, you could add it in and take a question from the slide as well. So that would be Kahoot. Going back here. So again, that was the word wall. Oh, and they had 2,000 people, over 2,000 people at the webinar. So there's a lot of people that can join and play at once. It does get a little slow if you have that many people, because based on the answers, there was maybe, I would see, I don't know if there were 2,000 people at the webinar, but you could have up to 2,000 people playing, but you could see there was maybe up to 200 that were playing at one time that made this answer. So next tool, Google Meet. So I was in a live call with Jen with one of her groups. I think it was your accelerator group. And it was so glitchy because right away when COVID hit, all of a sudden Zoom got overloaded because teachers were like, where do I go? Where do I go? What can I use? And a lot of people were jumping onto Zoom calls just to see their family and talk to their family as well. So we were having a glitch one day, and I don't know why I didn't say anything because I didn't realize at the point, but Meet was another an option that we could use that almost has everything that a Zoom call has. Zoom has a couple things here and there, but Meet is actually trying to step up their game because they're trying to add in breakout rooms, and they're adding in, there's another feature, I can't remember the other feature, but they're definitely trying to add in breakout rooms, which Zoom already has and Meet does not.
They added background, I think. Virtual
Zoom,
backgrounds.
you can have someone else share. Sorry?
I think they may have added virtual backgrounds, unless I'm confusing it with Facebook Rooms, because I know they did as well.
I think Meet is trying to work on backgrounds as well. But they also are trying to work on having more than one person share. That's one of the downfalls of Meet, is that if you are the host, I can't share my screen. If I'm the host, you can't share the screen, or you can only show up as presenter and have no control of the room at all. So that's the only downfall of Meet, really, compared to when you want to present something or have someone present it all. And then, however, there are integrations. So if you're in Meet Suite, you can only really share it with someone who is in the suite to join the call. However, if you have the number, the information for the Meet, then you can have someone call in and they can join from the outside as well. So here, PEXIP, you actually can use that to stream out of the Meet so anyone else can join, similar to StreamYard. It's great with Google Calendar because you can add it right in. If you ever made a Google Calendar appointment, Meet slides right on in there. It will make a link for you and that individual to join, or the group of people to join. And it also has a lot of Chrome extensions that I'll show you in a second. So we're going to go to Meet real quick. So if I'm in, so right here, this is my school district. So if someone's in it and I join a meeting, I can give it a nickname. So if I click Meet right now, if someone is trying to join the meeting and I don't give them any other information, the only thing I give to them is the code, they can join the meeting. So there's 2 people right now in the meeting with us. I just want to put that there, just so. Okay. So here we have 2 people. I am in there also. Try not to make too much noise in the background. So this is me as well from my cell phone. So there's 2 people that are in the chat right now. And a couple extensions that Google has added because they realized that there's so much more that Zoom could do as far as ability. So here you have, here's the chat over here on the side. And then again, anyone here would be toggled. I could do a grid view if I had enough people in here. It would do a grid view and completely cover my screen with everyone's faces. I can show myself in the view as well. And a neat extension is I can see who's here. And I have a whiteboard, but I have to share my whiteboard. Hold on, let me share my screen. Oh no, I don't, you are seeing my screen. But if I shared the screen presenting, I could present my whiteboard here and it would just act as a whiteboard. Clear all. I could enter a time. So let's exit the whiteboard. So if I had 1 minute. No.
And this is a plugin, Christina?
This is a plugin, an extension, yep. So set timer, 10 minutes, and then 10 minutes I can set the timer for someone if they're talking and it's the time they're presenting, or if I want to time myself.
Oh, that's cool.
Here's emoticons that someone can use. Did I say something you didn't want to hear? Excuse my French. So this just interesting emoticons, but whoever's in the meet with you has to have this up in their Chrome extensions as well to be able to use it back.
But they can see the timer. They wouldn't have, like, if you have this and they don't, but you wanted to set a timer, they would see that, right? They just couldn't use the emoticons.
Right, because I would be sharing my screen so they could see this.
Gotcha.
I can send a quote. A random quote would come through. I could do a trivia game in here. I could start a trivia, a random trivia, any kind. Again, another way to warm up the audience. What Austrian city was named for its mining and trading of salt. And then I could share a link. So if I wanted to real quickly plug something in, I could send it. Open a poll. If I had any questions that I wanted to ask the group. Oh, I knew that. Oh, no, I didn't say anything. Let's see. Settings. Microphone, camera, background color if I wanted name to buzz. So if here, this is going off. And I have a Post-it note that I can add. So if I want to add any notes into the meeting, if I want to keep tabs of anything that's going on, and then I can just minimize it. Delete. So something else that I can do is up here, another extension for Chrome. Where did it go? If I turn on my closed captions, app script. Oh, this may not be the correct one. I didn't download the correct one, but there's an app where while I'm talking, it will record and it will transcribe the whole conversation. So down here, you can see my transcript is occurring and it'll type in the transcript. It will save the transcript and then I can upload it to anywhere that I need it to go, as long as I have my closed captions on.
But worth showing that anyway, because a lot of people don't know that when you use Google Meet, you get that feature built in, the closed captions. Mm-hmm. So as Christina's talking, as you present in Google Meet, it starts typing the words as you go. I mean, it doesn't save the transcripts without that plugin, but I think it's a really cool feature.
Right. And then anyone hard of hearing, they could be in the call as well. And, so a favorite, dual lists. If I am presenting, this is an issue that you hear a lot of times in Zoom calls, that they can't see the chat, they can't see the group. So a way to keep attention on our students, Google came up with dual lists. If I wanted to, I can choose to split my screen. And so let's say I want to split it in half. So right here is the chat, and I can present. So let me exit the chat row. I can present a window, and the window I want to present is, let's say, the potpourri. I go back to the potpourri. The students can see the potpourri because I'm sharing the potpourri, and I can see this. I can keep my eye on the chat while it's going, especially if you're a small business owner and you don't have a VA that can take notes for you or can interject for you, or if you have a shy audience who they don't want to interrupt and ask a question there, then the audience is seeing this screen and I can still keep this up here and I'm still in the call.
How do you know which one you're seeing and they're seeing?
Because when I hit present, I selected a specific screen. So I selected a window and it was the potpourri.
So, but they're only seeing that. And then on the left, like if you had your cheat sheet, your notes or whatever, they wouldn't be able to see that.
Right. So over here, they wouldn't see it because it toggled itself out of the window, but it still made it capable that it's connected to the call.
Very cool.
That was an interesting one that I found. So we're done with Meet. So moving on, we have Classroomscreen. This is a teacher made, and it's an interactive whiteboard. So if I'm in Zoom, it does integrate with Zoom. And if I'm in with Zoom, I can change the background if I would like. So if someone wants to have their logo up, they can choose to put it up. If they want a picture, they can do that. Do a random name pick. So whoever attends a webinar, if I type in their names, I can select George. I can select just random names. And then choose a name. And there you go, whoever's attending. Roll the dice. Here's the sound level. This is more for the classroom, but right now it's at a sensitive level. So if I want to make sure students are talking at a specific level, then I would select if it's okay. If loud is okay, then I'm really not talking that loud. And then there's a ring in case we get too loud. This one's interesting. If we are all watching and I wanted to send everybody to, we'll say, the front row, I can put the front row here, and then everyone can take their cameras and they could use the QR code and it will take them to the front row. X out of there. I would just have to put in the URL. Again, I can draw. Ooh, I'm not sure where that went. It's a white screen, so I'm not sure. Yes, I should be able to write, but it's not letting me. So I can type just like I could if I use like a Post-it note. I'm not sure why this one's not working. Oh, there we go. It was a little white pad. So you could write, you could erase, same as a whiteboard. I can tell everyone that I need them to be quiet. Again, little teacher tool. Here's the stoplight for if I want people to stop doing whatever it is. So if you say, all right, everyone, let's just chat. Or if you were like, okay, so everyone can chat. And right now we're going to stop slowing down and hold on. If everyone can just be quiet for real quick so I can have your attention. So that would be the stoplight. There's a timer. So if I had 5 minutes, 4 minutes, you can start the timer. You can reset the timer. Stopwatch. There's a clock to keep track of time. And a calendar. So if we needed to look something up in a date real quick, it's right here for everybody to see if you were sharing the screen. So that's Classroomscreen. So that's another whiteboard tool that has a lot more bells and whistles to it. And then, where am I? Potpourri. Finally, Flippity. Probably my favorite because if you know, I do giveaways, and in the giveaways, we have a giveaway that's going on right now, and it's going as soon as this webinar is over. We're going to go into our Instagram and we're going to choose a winner. So Flippity is how I love to do that. And so if I have here, I'm going to use this one. This is my favorite one, is the spinning wheel. And over here, I have the Potpourri. So if anyone's name is here, I can do, so let's do George again. I can't spell George. George, let's do Fred. We'll do Jen. Anyone's name who goes into here, I can add photos. They would have to be from the web, public photos. But if I put their name here, I would say file. I would have to publish this list to the internet. So I would publish this to the web. Publish. Okay. I got the link. I'm going to open it up. And so now it made a wheel that I can choose a winner from that link. And what's nice is I can save this. I can star it. So if there's a group of people that are in a specific course, or if there's a group of people that's in a specific, webinar at that time, I can save it. I can bookmark it, and then I will be able to come back, and these names will still be there. So with a click, it will spin, and we choose a winner.
I can see, I love this. I can see the fact that you,
so that it's single name. So if I want to make sure that every person, it goes through every single person, I could use single name, and I can click and it generates a new person. until I go through the list, and then I can reshuffle the order. And then again, it will give me a random list.
I love this. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can see how this would be great for, especially since you said you could save it. So like if you have an ongoing like group coaching program, and let's say like every week, you know, a new person who's going to go first, right? Like who's going to kick the meeting off, and you could just spin the wheel. Would be a fun way to just sort of see who was going to start the meeting off that day. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and exactly. So George, you're first, Fred second, Jen, and then Christina's third, fourth. You can group people off. If we had enough people, you could group them into 3, group them into 4, into 5, and it creates different lists. You can print the lists. You can reshuffle the lists if you want. So we have a group of 2, we can reshuffle them. You can make teams with them. 4 teams. 5 teams, and then a seating chart. And then here, if you want, you can edit the name of the groups or edit the name of the teams. So that is Flippity, which is one of my favorites of all time. I use it with my kids in class, and they love it. And let's go back. Where are we? We're hiding. Okay, so from the course, I had my last faculty meeting with the couple of teachers that were in Flip with me, and a couple of teachers beforehand told me, thank you for breaking everything down, because I truly like to break it down so that if I can use it, you can use it, because I'm not the most tech savvy, but I do learn enough to where I could use a tool efficiently, and I could use a tool for myself. And if I can learn, then you can learn as well. So I'm so glad I took the course, because I had no idea where to begin with planning for the next year. And then you weren't kidding when you said you have everything we need. So took Jen's advice and, gave everything that I could: templates, handouts, sheets, workflows, a plan, a calendar for them to organize, and all sorts of resources. So just, they were floored with it. So Flip with Me is our main course that we have. So if there's any teacherpreneurs that want to learn, or even professors, it's not just for teachers, it's actually for professors as well, because there are universities that are flipping their classrooms. It's 6 weeks of training, 4 weeks of implementing, and you get 10 weeks total of support and encouragement and any kind of help, questions, tech help, because I know there's a lot of teachers that are in the older range, not picking on the older range teachers, but there are teachers my age that aren't tech savvy either, but there are teachers in that range who are so fearful of technology, even still having gone through COVID, that we still want to make sure that those teachers have an answer for when school starts. So if there's anyone that wants to join, the current price right now is $197, and the front row VIP price is going to drop to $147. And there is a coupon code that goes with it. I think Nika has it. It's VIP 50 for this promotion here. And we kick off July 1st. So June 30th is when this promotion ends for July. It's not the only one, because this one is geared more towards teachers. We have a couple more promotions. So we have editable template package. We have 62 templates, 62. And they're going for $7. And for the front row VIP price, it is $5 and 62 templates, all editable. And the coupon code would be VIP2 for the templates.
VIP also, VIP 50 is what it is showing. Is that correct?
VIP 50 would be for the teachers, and VIP 2 would be for the templates.
Nika, can you put that up there? Thank you. We had the old one up there. I think you might have that on here. Oh, so we don't have, so if we don't want to buy the course, we could buy these Instagram and slide templates.
Yes.
And then what is the other thing?
And this one is, we're finishing this up. I know you love wait lists, but we have a we have a wait list ready because we're not quite done yet. But it is plan a course like a Mosteller teacher. So getting into the minds of, because teachers are notorious for planning lessons, planning units, planning curriculums. So if anyone was struggling with how to organize their thoughts with planning their course, or how to plan a specific course, or they're not quite sure of how they want to break it down, there's a brainstorm session, and we go over the backwards design that teachers are drilled into their heads constantly, and how to figure out what the essential topics are for your course, and then we help you break down the content that you want to put into each essential topic. And we kick off on July 13th, but right now there is only a wait list available for this because we're not completely done creating it just yet. So for the current price is just $17, and then the front row VIP price is $12.
And what's the link for this stuff?
It's in the process.
The link for us to buy?
Right. I have to send that in. I did not have that prepared for right here.
No problem. No worries. Okay. But done is better than perfect. So, we know that you have this offer, and we will be looking for the link, and you'll just post it in front row as soon as it's ready.
As soon as it's ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then just a way to contact us. This is our site for if you wanted to get to the templates and to the front row VIP. That's not me. Flip with me, as well as plan like a Mosteller teacher email, and my Voxer, including my Instagram.
That's such a good idea to use your Voxer on your contact list. I haven't been doing that. I'm going to do that too. That's great. So many of us are using Voxer now.
Mm-hmm. And I have so many students.
Yeah. Well, okay, you guys. Well, any questions from the peanut gallery? Can you explain what flip learning is? Because, we sort of brushed past that, but explain what the flip learning model is.
So flip learning is, just in a nutshell, because there's a lot to it, but it's pretty fun, is all of actually you do flip learning without even realizing it. All of the easy stuff that happens in the classroom. So you think about the easy stuff that happens in the classroom is when the teacher is standing in front of the class and they are giving a lecture. They're talking about the content. They're going off on this long discussion. It's basically just a speech is what the teacher is giving, and the students are taking notes. All of that easy stuff for the student is in the classroom right now for a traditional classroom, and the hard stuff goes home. So a lot of times you think about when you were a kid sitting in class, and teacher maybe lecture for 15 to 20 minutes on a topic, and they then passed out a worksheet and said, all right, work on this. And if you have questions, I'll be around. And the teacher's floating the classroom, and maybe you had a question and the teacher says, hold on, I'll get with you in 1 second. There's a student that really needs the teacher because they really are struggling with the content. Okay, she said 5 minutes. It's been 10 minutes, bell rings, and then you never got to ask your question. So you're taking this hard concept home. And if you can remember this, I remember this, going home, your parents had to help you with this question. And they have no idea how to answer this because discrete math, that's something that students are taught now. But if my daughter came home, I would have no idea what I'm looking at. No clue how to help my child answer this question because it's the harder concept. So flipped learning is we are taking the easy stuff, sending that home. So the lecture gets recorded. The student watches the lecture at home as homework, and it's not always the recording. It can be a text as well. So the easy stuff is home. And then the harder stuff, if I had to do discrete math with my daughter, I could watch the video with her. I could listen to the teacher's examples. I could see everything that's happening. And then when she goes to class, she either understands it or she doesn't understand it. So if she doesn't understand it, she would be in one part of the classroom working with the teacher, with the other students who don't get it, while the students who do get it go elsewhere in the classroom and can move on and use a higher order thinking in the classroom. So it really flip-flops.
I love it. So the passive information that we can all read or watch, we can do in our own good time at home in the comfort of our bedroom or whatever. And then when we need the expert to help us do the actual work, to execute that problem, then that expert is live with us in your case, on the live call, or in these teachers' cases, when they're going to be teaching like remotely next year, they'll be able to do that on the live calls, right?
Mm-hmm. And this is all completely from the Flipped Learning Network, which was John Bergman, and he has this global network of teachers. It's from Spain to India, all over the parts of the U.S., and it's just really it's taking a slow amount to catch on, but it makes a lot of sense, and especially going into our classrooms, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you make it easier on yourself?
Yeah, I agree. I love it. All right, Christina. Well, you did a fantastic job. This is Christina's first webinar like this, and doing a promotion at the end. And that's not easy to do. And I think you just did a wonderful job. I have to commend you on the fact that you did not rush through it. That's a lesson for everyone. Like when it comes time to deliver the offer, it's important that you really spend time talking about the offer, because your audience, if they've stayed with you this long, they're interested in what it's about. And it's like when you're shopping for something, you want to take your time and look at the features, you read what's included, all that kind of stuff. So I think a lot of us will make the mistake when we get into a webinar, it comes time to present the offer, and we're just like, and bye. And so because it's like a little bit uncomfortable, but I think you really did a fabulous job. And I loved learning about these tools and plugins. I know Nika is probably so excited about that Flippy one.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, she's nodding down there because I already know, like, she's thinking, oh, for our challenges, that's going to be perfect, putting people in teams and all that. So thank you so much. Anything you want to add before we conclude?
No, I just thank you for the opportunity. It was great. And I think it was the accountability challenge really kicked me in the butt and got things moving. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. You did a wonderful job. And if you guys have any questions, just tag Christina under this replay, and she'll be swooping in here soon with a link for those templates. They're really beautiful templates. I got to get like a behind the scenes look at them. So like totally worth $5. I mean, so if you don't get anything else, you need to get those templates. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.